Alright, how y'all doing? So, what I'm doing here as a bit of a test is the first video portrait of the garden, having been putting up photos of it all this time, but since I've done a little trade-up iPhone-wise, that means I've got video to play with now. So, what we're going to do is just a very quick tour going through of the garden here. And I'll just point out some things along the way, and I'll take the usual slew of shots later. But since a lot of these roses are going to be clipped at some point by Y, I wanted to capture them now. So Y is here, and she's doing work in the other half of the garden right now. And so far is not on camera, so you need not worry over there. Amazing. So, and our friend Marianne is also the one who helps out in this garden, and our mutual friend Stripey, who is not here, can't be here due to other commitments. So it's just the two of the group of four, more or less, working on this. So, having focused in on this particular rose bush, I'm just going to walk along, and you can sort of see what's going on here. Society garlic down along the way, and other roses. This particular setup. The roses all came over from the old garden. They had flourished there for some time, and they were brought over and put down in here, and they all taken root very nicely. The two corner bushes are the ones that really have come through very nicely, but some of these ones along the way have also turned out pretty well. And now over to the other corner here. You can sort of see what we got. This one's a little more sprawling, a little less flowers, but nonetheless. So walking down the edge here, this is the original half of the plot that was sort of developed, so laid out with bark and other pieces like that. I'll sort of walk into the middle here, and with a little pathway put along. Our artichokes right there, as you can see, just growing along. They're not as big as they will be yet, and no fruit to speak of, but give them time. As you can see, they're just sort of doing their thing. Empty patch there, place to sit, always handy. Walkways, and this is just sort of the infrastructure part where we've got some bags for the composter and other things like that. From there, into the newer part of the plot, this was all really only laid out in full earlier this year, and what we did was put down a bunch of garbage bags down below, and below the bark, so that was an extra layer against weeds and things coming up, and that turned out to be pretty handy. So it's really kept the weeds down in this section. We might go ahead and do the same with the old section here maybe later on. So over here, kind of hidden by everything, some of the beans that are coming up, some of the flowers. Some of this newer structure was put in by Marianne over the weekend because it needed it. Sort of sneak around here. You can sort of look and see all that we've got. Over there to where there are tons and tons of carrots, and then down here to where Stripey's radishes are still flourishing, and some other stuff there. Then over into here, we have got, remind me, it's squash here?
Watermelon.
Watermelon, okay, this is the watermelon. I keep forgetting what's where. So the watermelon's coming along. As you can see, it's also starting to come up, so we'll see how long that lasts, but it was the thing that was needed, and we need that there because, as you can see, we've got the corn next to it. And if the watermelon had taken over the corn, well, that would have been a bad thing. Stepping back a bit, we can't take credit for these, but they're pretty spectacular. So that's the sunflower there, and then over here are the corn that's in the neighboring plot. So again, can't take credit for it, but it makes for a heck of a border, so we're not complaining there. Then over here, we've got some of the Swiss chard coming in very nicely, as you can see. And we've got some lemon cucumbers back there at the very back, behind the flowers. Unfortunately, they've been very heavily nibbled away on the leaves, so we do have a couple of rodents that have been coming in and having some fun, which is unfortunate. But we'll do what we can. And then squash under the cage right here, still coming in pretty nicely. And then the main thing we've got here are tomatoes, 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 and then tomatoes. And as you can see, just huge amounts of plants. We've got some basic structure up and going. Get a little close up here on some of the ones that are coming in. As you can see, all still pretty green, but still coming in pretty nicely. A little view there, maybe a better view up there of what we've got. More sort of tucked away back in there. And over here, a slightly better view of ones that have been coming in, the Romas that are coming in very nicely and are starting to ripen, getting very close to that. So we should be grabbing some of those here soon. And then stepping back over here is where we've got the monster huge squash thing going. As you can see, it just keeps on going up and up. That's part of a new infrastructure thing that was put in. And that's where we've got right there. A few carrots right over there, and that's pretty much it. So there's the very quick guided tour of what's around. As you can see, a couple of empty spots here, things that were planted didn't quite come through, but we'll see what we can do. And we will yet be doing some more stuff with this, if not later this year, definitely sometime next year, where it's always a work in progress. There you go, you've got your guided tour, and I may not be the greatest gardener in the world, but at least I can talk about a cool garden that I'm in. So there you go. All right, bye.